Hello and welcome to this stream, bringing you Syracuse to DCA. Weather's good both places. A little gusty here in Syracuse. Started off the stream at the doorway of the A319s, what we're using today. I've been doing a lot of 777 flying. I've been around lately between family obligations, and since last time I've been on, I've been to Europe 3 times, just working the crud out of me. So getting back and doing this has been kind of difficult. But I'm trying to get a couple streams in before I go back out, or go back to Madrid in a week and a half. So, thank you for joining. We'll do a quick one today and see if we can get another one in before I go. All right, here we are at the door of the 319. Walking in. It should be on generally, but I guess not today. Cold and dark airplane today. Run with. Had to get in and update a bunch of things that I've been gone so long that so many things needed to be updated. I'm glad that it's all kind of working together. The new update to GSX I have not seen yet. We're going to go ahead and start the boarding for the aircraft. Get that underway. It takes a little bit. But enough about me. How have you been? Let's go. Bat 1. Six, bat 2. Power, wake this beast up. Yeah, we'll see what the update does. I'm excited that they actually did something. It looks like it was more than just a tiny update. It looks like they added a bunch of things in there, which I'm really kind of excited about. I'm going to do a deep dive into it in a little bit and really kind of see what the log they added. Supply, we'll get ground control on. Fire test. Well, that was fun. Maybe GSX is doing some weird stuff. Test and see what just happened. It showed a crash. Wonder if that was a Phoenix problem or a CPU fire test. That must have been a GSX issue. Wonder if it's still boarding. Ah, okay. Yeah, it really screwed something. Go back into here. We'll do Phoenix. Stuff behind. Can't see. Panel states. Back to cold and dark. Hit it. We'll start over again. That was not supposed to wake up that way. I'll do kind of a quicker. 26 with the ground power back on. Let's see. West boarding. Cargo doors. See if that changes things. Well, hopefully it's not going to be that kind of day. I'd like to get a good flight in. Open up my charts real quick on the outside. So how have you been? Have you been still thinking about starting flight training, and now how's that going on? Syracuse today, information Charlie 16014 gusting 24, a little gusty today. You at 14,000, broken at 17, 20,000. 19 and 2, 3000 meter. Go fast. I think I've told you before the best time to start flight training is yesterday. I'm not really sure how the Air Baltic works. ILS approach in use, landing and departing runway 15. Advise you have Charlie, we have it. And when I checked earlier, there was a bat sim on. Still there. What? Oh, looks like a new guy. We'll try connecting to VATSIM and see how that works. New flight plan. 3082 and connect. Connected VATSIM should be Syracuse ground. ATIS 124 to. I really want to get the new. Really excited. Is it wind control? Their new radios, because this is the most annoying thing for me on flight sim, is trying to dial the radios in here. The tactile feel of actually touching an actual switch or something nice about that. Oh, you grabbed the Innobles 350. Good job. Good. Have you? How much have you tried it out? It's a very well done product. There's a lot of reviews of people saying they having WASM crashes, and I got it. It was a day one purchase for me.
Course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested, read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Juliet. Syracuse Hancock International Airport. Information Juliet. 1354 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 10, 15. Wind 150 at 11 gusting 30. Visibility.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like the wind control name. I like the wind wing. Um, I don't know. I like their products. I don't like what I read about their return policies and their customer service, but I haven't had any issues with any of their stuff. And I've been using it for a while. 21.7. I think he said it was Juliet. 717 for ground. Since he's not running a delivery. I don't think. I think Syracuse last D. Big of a deal. Anyway, how have you liked the 350 so far? It's not my favorite jet, but I do like. I like Airbus products. Being someone who's flown an Airbus and and Boeing, I think professionally, in a professional sense, the Airbus is a much more comfortable airplane to work. Um, but and from a pilot's perspective, the Boeing is a lot more free, kind of do what, and the airplane won't really tell you no. But I'd say the one thing I miss about the Airbus is this right here. This tray table is a lot more important than I think. All right, I'm gonna get going. I only got a couple minutes now, so we'll go net ref, net request. Down on the FMC right now. Don't have a departure yet, so that. Have you actually had a WASM crash though? Like I was saying, I've had it since it came out, and I've had one, and I don't even. It wasn't even the 350 that it was on. It was on. I think it was this. Actually, no, it might have been the Flight Sim Labs, FS Labs 321 Neo, and I like having the Neo, but between the Flight Sim Labs and this, what do you call it? The Phoenix. The Phoenix is a much better product. I cannot wait for the Neo to come out with Phoenix. Excuse me if you can hear me drinking. I'm still having my second cup of coffee. Man, we are flying through passengers. I gotta get going. For American Airlines, 3082, and we have a cop. 31. Cruise altitude, 36,000. Go backwards D, double D. I am way behind. Spend too much time talking. Get the APU going. That's unfortunate. I guess the only really big bug that I've had with the A350 is it doesn't work in VR, which like the most first world problem thing to have about on flight sim. I tried to run it in VR just to see how it would work, and the cockpit is see through. You can see the runway and everything, the cockpit, and it is really distracting. 134 is our V2. Dial that in so I can actually get a clearance. Look like he sent me anything over ACARS. So, Syracuse clearance, American IFR. Again. Yep, that'd be why. There you go. Syracuse clearance, 3082, IFR Reagan. We got Julia.
Stand by. You're number 1. American 3082, Syracuse ground, clear to Reagan. Radar vectors SYR. Venice files. Climb and maintain 4000. Expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure on 126.125 squawk 3431. Expect runway 15.
Not sure I'm gonna be able to get this to work. Having problems today. What happens when I don't fly for a long time on flight sim? Everything gets sideways. Syracuse clearance, American 3082 out of here.
American 3082.
I was having problems with the mic. American 3082 IFR to Reagan was Julia, you said.
American 3082, it's Charlie, and you're cleared to Washington Reagan Airport via Syracuse to departure out of Bigfootbunkie, then it's found. Maintain 4000, expect flight level 36010 minutes after departure. Departure's offline, squawk 2465.
Alright, HC clears American 3082. Radar vectors Kentucky 4000. Departure. Departure's offline 2465 on the squawk, American
3082, you're back to it.
out 24465. Get that in there. We'll go here. 465. I feel rushed now. Climb to 4,000 initial altitude. All right. APU lead, and we'll run. 4-star checklist protocol control is on. Flight forms AML, onboard accepted aircraft. Are we 775? Quantity 12.3 required. It did not load our fuel. Oh man. Gotta get everything running here. Load aircraft. I am terrible day, and I apologize for the bad stream, but we'll get it going eventually. Thousand. The GSX decided not to run outer tank high temp. That's weird. Oh, there's definitely some bugs going on right now. See if we can eat that. The Premium Deluxe would be good. Nice of them to I'm gonna go ahead and ignore that because I don't think I can do anything about that. I can't remember what the Premium Deluxe gives you for the A350. Figure that out. Alright, I am so behind. This is going to be a funny stream for everybody else watching the airline pilots struggle to get out on time. I'm already late. So I guess it's just like real life. Dude. I have Yankee 19. Ooh. Skills 5. Ski. Performance data I got up here at 129, 130, 134. Room temperature of 66. Ops 1. $90 standard. Two. Set up. That's set. We'll go here. Go ahead and close the door. Go. Takeoff performance. Next one down the list. You got 129, 130, 134, flexing 66. Oxygen is checked. Down here, 1800. Seatbelt sign will come on. ECAM checked. We'll that good. Parking brake is on. Checked. MCD is set. Altimeter 0. PEDs are off. Departure briefing is reviewed. Gonna be up to 4,000 radar vector. Ski. All right. Good start. Push. GSX is not playing well. Closing all the doors. We'll remove ground power. Go. Should be ready to push now.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Captain Sim's best airplane they've made. Probably age myself, probably the 7.5. They had a decent 7.5 from a long time ago that actually worked. Other than that, I don't think Captain Sim has put out a decent product, and I literally can't tell you how long. I won't touch anything they have with a 10-foot pole, not even for a review. Syracuse Ground American 3080, 3028, push and start.
American 3082 push on to Echo. This is call for taxi.
Push on to Echo, call for taxi. Right, on to Echo. Nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes released, you're clear to push. And we're going back. Should be going. We're going back. Oh, that's hilarious. All right. Parking brake released. I am a mess today. I apologize for that.
Start at will.
I think the 7.5 was for like 2004. I found a CD I had of a Phoenix simulation systems, which is different than the Phoenix Sim now, I think. You know, it'd be interesting to find out if it is the same company. You were talking about from FS 2000, of a 777 I had, which was absolutely fantastic. We'll go ahead and get this APU bleeds on, master cell set, and we'll go and start 1 and 2. I feel like that push was really fast.
Please set parking brakes.
Parking brake is set, clear disconnect.
Your confirmation for a good engine start.
Changed all my GSX settings. I don't like to have to do that. Generally, here in the States, they don't wait for an engine start to disconnect. They just, we'll tell them clear disconnect and just do it. Let them know brake set, clear disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
GP does. Sorry, I'm going. I got super backlogged. The GPS doesn't even work. Tried downloading terrain data. Started flight. That's funny because I didn't have any problems with the
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin.
just like railroad. That's
Clear. Right is clear.
I did not do my flow. This is Syracuse Airport. It's an airport I've been to many times from when I was a little kid. It's like a good start. We'll start 1. Yeah, Syracuse is in upstate New York. It's about 6 hours from New York City to the west, to the kind of northwest. I spent I spent a lot of time there as a kid. So it's someplace I like to go. I forgot who does this one. I can get it for you. I'll probably put it on the tag when I upload this or after the stream.
November 84678, Syracuse ground, SYR-DCA. Yep.
84678, could you repeat?
84678, say the definition.
84678, roger.
Departure performance.
84678, say requested out.
84678, flight level 31.
November 84678, are you in
Pick up
Iowa?
what-
84678, negative. It'll be a VFR.
Okay, then you can't have a 8.
Roger, just do 17,000.
Not send my takeoff data. Nothing is working for me today. We'll go with the paper data, which is legal. Can't get a load closeout. You can get load closeout radio.
In November
With the paper
84678,
numbers,
say the
which
destination.
they'll verify.
84678 is Kilo,
So-
India, Sierra, Papa.
Got two good starts. That off. This off. We'll turn the master off, go to flaps 1, and get brake max in. Start checklist. Engine head ice is off. Rotor status is checked. Rotor trim has been zeroed.
Maintain VFO out of below 3,000 within 5 miles of the Syracuse Airport. Departures offline. Squawk 2466.
84678 will maintain 3,000 below within 5 miles of the airport, squawking 2466.
84678, read back to your Coleman check.
Syracuse ground, American 3082, taxi.
American 3082, runway 15, taxi via Echo Tango Bravo Mike.
Echo Tango Bravo Mike, runway 15, American 3082. Let's see, departure 5. Good. Echo Tango Bravo Mike, that'll be a left turn. Onto Tango, and left Bravo. Mike to the end. Got configs normal, so we're actually pretty much ready to go. Are there any places in the States you've been to? Flight controls are checked. Try to get the head tracking going. Easier to taxi. But much like all the other things I needed to update, that needed to update, and it's not playing well. I'll have to spend some time getting everything running. Flight attendants have called, so they ignored me. I took too long. Hour is 20.3. Go.
November 84678, runway 15, taxi via Foxtrot Alpha Echo Mike.
A 4678, taxi to runway 15 via Foxtrot Echo Mike.
A little bit of 319 is actually a very small airplane. I can't even imagine what flying the 318. 319 was a pretty big joy to fly. Handled like a sports car, overpowered on the engines. Good. It's always good to have too much power than not enough. We'll go on EA. Flight ends, prepare for takeoff. Ding them. And run a checklist. 4 takeoff checklist flaps, 1 planned, 1 indicated takeoff data and speeds. Quick change previewed American 30. Takeoff data and speeds checked. Thrust bump off, weight closed out at 132 even. Stab trim. Set. Flight controls are checked. ECAM memo. Takeoff. No blue. Down the line. Low line runway and FMS is checked. And takeoff fuel. It's not even 7. We got 13. We got 4.5 on board. Flight has been notified. APU bleed is off. Mode is normal. TCAS mode is RA. Port takeoff complete. All right, let's get underway. Tower. Syracuse traffic, American 3082, taking the active runway 5. Syracuse, straight up. One thing I like about being in the upstate New York area, it is crazy green up here, especially in the summer. Center line. Rack it over, brakes. Winds pretty much right down the pipe, so the gusts are not really affecting us. Here we go.
On runway 15 remaining. 7,300 feet.
Flex. Flex set. $80. B1. Okay. Positive rate. Gear up. From what I understand, X-Plane's starting to look pretty good. I've never owned X-Plane. I don't really know that much about it. I've been a flight sim customer since, man, I was a little kid. There's the go. Starting to feel. Coming up on S speed. Flaps up. After takeoff checks. We'll put in 36 is what we're cleared to. I think you said you have X-Plane, right? Or have run X-Plane before? Data, so we can see. Feet off the rudder pedals, we'll go autopilot on. And we're climbing away. So after takeoff checks, landing gear is up, flaps are up, pressurization is set. After takeoff checklist is complete. Alpha 8 is Cleveland Center. Now, I don't know if we're going to get into Cleveland Center. I don't think we will. Another thing I missed. It's supposed to be. I am a terrible pilot today. I apologize to everyone who's pretending to watch me. Outside, when you look out around the upstate New York area, this doesn't really give it justice. It's rainy, but it's really, really a lush green. One that really stands out. Uh, 132, 134.27.
Dear guests, the use of approved electronic devices is now permitted in flight mode. Cabin service will begin shortly. Thank you for your attention.
Syracuse departure, American 382 out of 11 for 36. Yeah, I really do like the scenery of that one.
Syracuse departure, not seeing you on radar. Double check 3431 ident again.
See if we can change that. It is bumpy today. Hopefully, when we get above this cloud layer here, it'll get a little bit smoother. There's definitely some quirks. I mean, that all of a sudden looking straight down was kind of weird. Yep, that is gonna be a real problem if I try and land like that. I'll try that. Syracuse departure, American 3082, 16.5, climbing 36.
American 3082, say again, please.
American 3082 with you, 17,000. 133.35, American 3082. New York Center, American 38, 19, I make 36. Standard.
3082, New York Center, good afternoon.
So do you have any mixed scenery stuff? I have refused to even really look at it. Through a teens. Bring this back off. And ding that. I'll keep the fast seatbelt sign on for now. The one thing I looked at.
Flight level 390. Jazz 869er, radar contact.
One thing I looked at for McScenery was when they had the A380, and they were the only ones that had an A380 out, and I figured, that might be worth it, but I ended up not doing it, and I'm glad I didn't, because the who is it?
American 3082, climb and maintain flight level 360.
I maintain flight level 360, American. Fly-by-wire A380 came out, and if you don't have that, if you have a, oh, that's right, you said you play on, you don't play on PC. Like I say, the fly-by-wire A380 is free, and it's right up there with any Airbus product, with the exception of this, the Phoenix Sim. It's probably one of the better Airbus products I've ever flown, and it's a conglomeration between a whole bunch of different people who did the whole thing for free. The McScenery stuff I have, it doesn't even look good. At least Captain Sim, their systems are garbage, and they're way overpriced. I mean, they're half the price of PMDG, and for me, I'm more of a systems person. Like, I like to actually fly the airplane, feel what it's like to press the buttons and have the systems react the way they're supposed to. And I mean, I got on that train back in FS 2000. I found I found the box recently. It's Greatest Airliners 737-400 was my first quote-unquote study level airplane, and it was so good. It was a 737 Classic, and it had an actual working FMC in it, which was the first time I'd ever used that. And I think I was maybe 15 or 16 at the time, trying to teach myself the systems and how 737s operate, and how I didn't have a checklist. It didn't have any instructions. It's just, hey, here's the airplane, go. And over some time, I ended up getting pretty good at it. And then another thing I found cleaning out a closet was the original EMDG 737 800 DVD boxed or CD boxed edition for FS 2009, I think, or FS 9, and my wife was like, "Do you want to throw this away?" I'm like, "That's really kind of a piece of history." So I've got a couple of the really old airliner flight sim stuff I have in my office with some of my actual airline stuff. I'm looking at it right now. I've got some of the old flight sim stuff. I've got the original FS 2004 FSX next to my old Jepson leather-bound airway manuals. Yeah, the classic 737. I looked at that, and I love classic 737s. Obviously, because what I just said, my flight sim journey into more study level aircraft. Even when I was a kid, got started with the 737-400, and it'd be really neat to kind of have a nice version of that to go back into. But I can tell you, I'm not paying $120 for it, and I'm not doing a what do you call it? a pay-to-play or a subscription service, I will not buy anything in Flight Sim that's subscription service. It will not happen. I'd rather go back to FSX than do a subscription service for anything. Well, I guess that's true because I have my charts, but I mean that. Other than that, which I don't even know why I have, because my company provides me with an iPad with real charts, but a lot of the smaller airports I like to go into aren't serviced by the charts the airline gives me. So I guess that's why I have it. That, and it integrates with GSX, and it works with the Flight Sim. It's weird to have a personal iPad with charts on it that says Navgraph charts intended for Flight Sim only, and then a separate iPad in the same office that has, you know, JetX Pro that has charts of all the major airports all over the world, and those are automatically updated by us. Oh, the 737 companies associated with Russia? I had no idea. Yet another reason not to buy it. I can't imagine. You know, I say that, but the I just purchased the FS Labs 321 Neo, and I promised myself a long time ago I would never purchase anything from them because of their big scandal that happened. But I figured they've been gone for long enough, and they've, I don't know. I really wanted a Neo. I took the chance. I bought it. But I don't know if you know the whole thing with Flight Sims Labs and them putting a known virus to store your credit card data in there. I think it was credit card data. It was either credit card data. There was some data that it was storing, and it was part of their malware. It was a malware that was part of their anti-pirate software, and when it was a big blow up on the Flight Sim community that they were doing that. Oh, let's see what the company messages have. We go ahead and look down here so you can see it too. Go Atsu. I'm guessing it's just a them telling me that I am super late. The load sheets. I'm gonna have to get through all this, and I guess either later today or tomorrow I'll go back through and try and get all this stuff running smoothly again. I think for me that's the hardest thing about trying to run a stream, a YouTube channel or something. Which again, I've said it before, I'm doing for fun. See, that's a big. This right here, that's a temperature of the right hand fuel. That's a big bug, and that I didn't have that since the new there's a new Phoenix Sim update that I just put in, and I think some of it's just not playing together. And it's happened to me here. It happens to me in the real world. You know, I'm looking down at the navigation display, the ND, looking at those the pink stars on the ND are airports, and looking at those and how many of those places I've overnighted at when I was younger, flying regional jets. I do it when I'm in the triple too. It really kind of amazes me all the places that I've been. I've got to experience from small towns to big cities to now international hubs. All the places I've gotten to experience because of the job that I ended up taking. That's 35, 36. And we go higher because I'm guessing. We'll look down here so you can see what I'm doing. Go Prague page. And cruise 36, optimum 37, max 39. Might be able to go 38. I'm guessing. I'm not even sure 38 is going to get us out of that. If you look right ahead of us, the cloud layer is going to be right where we are, and that is very indicative of something that's going to be pretty rough rides. We try and avoid those. You get pretty good at reading the clouds and how it's going to work and where you are. Oh yeah, the sky up top. Does it look really dark on the stream? I guess it kind of does. Interesting. So it doesn't look that dark on my actual screen. So I got a question. I got a question for you. Since I'm having trouble doing live streams, I was thinking about doing a couple pre-canned flights that I can put out there. That'll be like maybe an hour or 45 minutes when I edit it down. Trying to figure out if anyone would be interested in watching that, or if it's really just the live. Flight attendants are doing the beverage service. Trying to figure out what I'm going to do next. I've got a couple streams that are not streams, videos I've been trying to work on, but again, like the whole reason why I haven't been around is, you know, real world work, and next month is a nightmare. I got me going between training and going back and forth to Europe four times. I'm not even sure when I'm going to be home. New York Center American 3028, request direct Shiloh.
American 3082, clear direct KDCA.
Negative, request direct skills. New York Center American 3082, request direct skills.
Delta 336, contact Boston Center on 132.65. Over to Boston Center on 132.65, say Delta 336.
New York Center American 3082, request direct skills.
Brickyard 4557, descend and maintain flight level 350, cleared for the wind 3 arrival into O'Hare. Descending to flight level 350, cleared for the wind 3 arrival into O'Hare.
And one of the reasons why I was thinking about doing some of those videos is it would be able to get me to do some of the longer haul stuff that I was kind of interested in showing. I've been trying to think about doing a New York to Edinburgh flight that Americans started on the XLR. That'd be able to show some of the North Atlantic track stuff and how that works and the line of thinking that we go through flying over the tracks. Where I might go into 777 from, you know, Newark to Newark to Heathrow. Heathrow's really kind of an interesting airport to go into, and I really wanted to do the cross the pond issue on our event on VATSIM, but ironically, I was in Madrid when the cross the pond happened, so I was actually crossing the pond when the event was going on. Yes, actually, I have. Funny story. I have experienced two. Um, both of them were catastrophic engine failures, and both of them were on takeoff. I had one engine failure in the CRJ out of 200, and it was on takeoff out of Charlotte, and we got cleared to take off of 36 left, which is now 36 center, so you can tell how long ago that was. And I put the thrust lever to about 70%, which was the procedure, and then in the CRJ you put the flying pilot puts the thrust lever to around 70%, and then calls for set thrust, and then puts them around the carrots, or the in1 speed it's supposed to be. There's a little mark on the engine indicator, and here if you look at the engine gauge here on the 319, it's got that little cyan circle you can kind of see above the number, just to the right of the top of the green line. In the CRJ, we call it a carrot because it's a little like a sideways V. And so I put it up to the carrot, and you're supposed to call set thrust, and the non-flying pilot will go in and fine-tune the throttles, because CRJ doesn't have auto thrust. It's all manual. And before the FO I had could touch the throttles, my hands weren't even off the throttles yet. The left engine came apart. You heard a loud bang followed by grinding, and the aircraft nose veered left. I pulled the throttles idle, and aborted the takeoff, which we never really even got above maybe 20 or 30 knots. Came to stop on the runway, assessed the situation, and the engine was still running, which was incredible. But it was producing no power. So I had normal engine indications with a high vibration setting, which you look down in the engine settings down here, the VIB N1, on the left engine is 2.0, and on the right engine is 1.8. On the CRJ, it was like 4.5 and 1.2 or something. Like I'm those are roundabout numbers, but it was very, very rough running, but everything else was running as normal. It just wasn't producing any thrust. We went back to the gate, and I let the passengers off, and the maintenance guy came out and handed me parts of the engine that were in the cowl. He said the whole engine ate itself up, so the entire compressor section was gone. So that was my first engine failure. My second one was I was in an Airbus 319 actually, one like this, down in the Caribbean islands, and two large birds went into the left engine, and big pretty heavy damage to 4 or 5 of the blades, and we were able to reject the takeoff prior to lifting off the ground. But we were going pretty fast. We were just short of V1, so it was amazing how fast these things will stop. I'll have a coffee if you bring me one.
I can't help with that request. How about we focus on the flight?
Oh, well, I'll have a coffee, please.
Understood, Captain. We'll bring coffee to the flight deck now.
So I've got some pictures of it, but it's pretty impressive to see the damage that those birds did to the engines. So those are my two, and when you get into flight training, they tell you the likelihood of you actually having an engine failure in real world is very low. I can tell you I've had two. My buddies had almost probably half of my friends that I know have had some issue. But there are people. You know, scary's not a it is neither time. It was you do the training on it so much, and it becomes just rote, where you just do it without thinking about it. And once the emergency was over, you just realize that it just happened. But the CRJ one was interesting. That was my first one, and it wakes you up. The second one on the Airbus, we ended up having another 24-hour overnight down in the islands, and I was sitting at the bar afterwards, obviously, with the captain I was flying with, and I looked and we were both wearing Apple Watches. If you're familiar with the smartwatch technology, and I said, I does yours track your heartbeat? You have that set up? And he said, yeah. And we kind of both brought our phones out and looked at the data. And thank you very much. Should be a pretty smooth ride into DC.
Thank you, Captain. We appreciate your update.
We both brought our phones out and looked at the data on our heartbeat metrics, and both of us showed a massive spike in heart rate at the exact same time, which I thought was really funny. But yeah, it's just something you deal with. All right, Washington Reagan information. Romeo 1552 Zulu, arriving at departing runway 152219, wind 150 at 7 visibility 10 miles, scattered at 7,000, overcast 8,500, temperatures 12, dew point 7, altimeters 3015, dial 3015 in on this side, go back. And you can't see it because I'm using I'm using a hardware system. 3015's left and right. New York Radio, American 3082.
American 3082, descend via skills 5 to 10,000 PSV, transition into Reagan, altimeter 3015.
Descend via skills to 10,000, American 3082. Starting the descent in. Probably get some boards out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Washington Reagan National.
New York Center, Jazz 869er, flight level 250.
Fasten your seatbelts and note
Jazz 869er, radar contact.
now not allowed. Thank you for your
Southwest
cooperation.
2878, contact Boston Center on 128.1.
Vertical deviation, we're 4,000 feet above where we're supposed to be on the path. But looks like we'll make skills by 12, so that's good. Good thing we're going to be landing pretty soon because I am running out of coffee. So are you a big coffee drinker or you do tea?
Cleveland Center on 126.725. 126.725.
I've always found I find it sometimes hard to trust people who don't do coffee.
New York Center, Endeavor 5305, flight level 310.
Go ahead and put the
Radar contact.
Arrival data in there 3015.
Southwest 2878, radar
Winds
contact.
150
Southwest 2878, contact Boston Center on
at
120.35.
7.
120.35 for Southwest 2878, good day.
Temp, say 12. Cold in DC today. We'll go config full. Plan on. Got the RNAV GPS Yankee in there. Bottoms of 780. Probably going to be a hand flown in there. I like hand flying this approach. It was honestly one of my favorite approaches to fly when I was on the CRJ. We'd have to fly it back before RNAV approaches were a thing. Or our RNAV arrivals. We would do the dive and drives. There's a whole bunch of calculations you did, and it was learning how to fly like that was a lot different than how you do it now, where it's just kind of set it and forget. Gonna be visual backed up with the RNAV, runway GPS. Runway 19, front approach is 187. Altitude to slacker is 1020, MDA is 780. This is just an LNAV, so 780. Have to go back into that. You have to add 50 to that. 830. Barrow is the called DDA, the derived decision altitude. 24775 American. New York Center American 3082s out of 19.5, descending with the skills 5, 10,000.
American 3082, Cleveland Center, good afternoon.
What's the smallest plane I've ever flown? Are you talking about commercially or in training? Because in training it was the Cessna 152. And I have been on this kick where I've wanted to buy one. They're relatively cheap here. It's like buying a car, buying a mid-price car. But they're pretty old. All right, transition 3015, descent checklist, altimeter 3015. Auto brake will be low. Arrival briefing is complete. Status is checked. Descent checklist is complete. So the 152 is
Contact Potomac approach on 119.85.
119.85 American.
American 3082, contact Potomac approach on 119.85.
119.85 American 3082. Potomac approach American 3082 descending 16.5 descending.
American 3082, Potomac approach, good afternoon. Reagan altimeter 3015. Expect the RNAV Zulu runway 19er approach into Reagan.
Expect the RNAV Zulu 19 into Reagan, American 32. So we got the Yankee, so we'll have to pull up. Oh, this is the better one. Bottom. EA of 491. That is a DA, so we don't have to do the addition. Go in here, DCA 19, arrive.
Shortcut
right to 205 down to 10,000, and then say speed again from American 3082.
Southwest 2247, contact Washington Center on 135.45. 135.45 for Southwest 2247. Good day.
You said 180. Go open descent. Go and get some lights on. A little bit early. We'll ding the flight attendants. Let them know we're coming in. Flight attendants prepare for landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our descent into Washington Reagan National Airport. Please ensure your seatbelts are fastened and all personal items are securely stowed. The cabin crew will be preparing for arrival shortly. Thank you for your cooperation.
I can tell you my last landing in real world was really good. So this one's probably gonna be bad.
Southwest 4442, contact Washington Center on 135.45. 135.45 for Southwest 4442.
So there is the flaps 1 speed, and generally on the Airbus you go about 10 knots below that. So 220 knots, I'll go flaps 1. Flaps 1. Start dirtying up the airplane. Performance. Put an active approach phase, and we'll confirm that. The approach of 129. How about this? You rate my landing, and I'll rate my landing, and we'll see who's nicer.
American 3082, turn right heading 225.
Right heading 225, American 3082. That's getting me over towards Derrick. Should see the... There's the river. Just off the left-hand side of the nose of the airplane. That's called Virga. That's indicating that there is some rain that is falling underneath the cloud, but probably not quite making it to the ground. I don't think they've given us a gate yet. The GSX was doing this for a while, where they would give you a gate. No, I've not gotten any messages for gates yet. We'll plan on something. Parking gate. I'll do over E45. Delta 45 is wrong. Got the RNAV RMP Zulu keyed up. We'll go ahead and rebrief that since we talked about it. Front approach course is 187. SUNY at 2000. DA of 491. Airport's 14. Touchdown zone is 13. MSL around the runway 19 is 2500. Mississippi the tower. If not, we'll climb to 3000 on front approach course track to runway 19, then direct to Baden and hold. You need to climb and hold 3000. If for any reason other than tower commanded go around, will probably anything wrong with the airplane or any issues on the aircraft, either passengers or aircraft, we'll probably go over to Dulles. I do not like in real world or in this making emergency landings into DCA. It's a short runway and very congested airspace, and then our nation's capital.
American 3082, descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
Gonna maintain 4,000 feet, America. Start a very gradual descent.
American 3082, descend and maintain 4,000 feet. Turn right, heading 250.
4,000 feet. Turn right, heading 50.
Please turn off all electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are put away. Your seats are in their
Moved it down to about 1,000 feet a minute. So Derrick
current weather in Washington.
is intercepted to 2,700 feet. So we'll move it down to about 1,500 feet per minute descent, and we'll go flaps 2.
45. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, we got lights. We got passenger signs. I think we're all keyed up for the arrival. Said before, this is probably one of my favorite approaches to do in the real world because there's a lot of actual hand flying you have to do. I got really good at it when I flew the smaller jets. We'd even land on the crossing runway much shorter. And when we did this, we called it the River Visual 19, and there was no RNAV. Just did it by feel. You flew the river down to land it, and you had to go directly over the center of the river. And you got the White House on one side, and you have the Pentagon on the other, and a whole bunch of other security sensitive places they don't want you flying over. So you're really threading the needle, flying an arrival to a short runway. It was really kind of a neat time. There is the flight attendant.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Set that. It's another thing I really want to get. I think I said that at the beginning, is the radio stack for wind control when it comes out. I also saw wind control's going to be releasing an entire overhead, a 1-for-1 overhead of the Airbus, and for $300 and some odd dollars.
82, 14 miles from Derrick. Turn left, heading 225. Descend and maintain 2700 feet until established. Cleared for the RNAV runway 19er approach.
Left having 225, 2,700 established. Cleared for the RNAV runway 19 approach. 3082. So we are app nav out final. So I'm gonna go ahead and let it level off. Derrick at 2,700. Kind of adjust for that. We are unmanaged. It'll catch up to that once we catch up to Derrick at 2,700. We'll should get final app, which where it says descent and app nav on the primary flight display will converge into one for the for a GPS approach like that. Once we get to Derek, I'll probably turn the autopilot off and hand fly it because, like I said, this is one of my favorite hands-on aircraft or hands-on approaches to. It's hard to see, but the river is right ahead of us, going north to south, so moving right to left. Tower queued up already, which will be 19-1. It's funny. I like to hand fly. Of all the flight sim stuff I have, I think I like to hand fly the Airbus better. The PMDG, the 777 has become wildly inaccurate for approaches, especially down below about 2,000 feet. It gets very hard pitch-wise to control, and the real airplane is not. It's really, really subtle. I mean, you have to do really small movements to control it, but I mean, I'm able to stay on the ILS all the way down to 50 feet, dead on. But on flight sim, I have a hard time doing it, and I don't know why. I think it's either over controlling it or the yoke I have is not as accurate, or maybe the aircraft itself is not modeled as well. All right, let's see. We'll go ahead and arm the spoilers. See, there's the river right ahead of us. So I have the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo when I use Boeing products, and I use ProDesk Sim 3D printed throttles for them to get a little more accurate. And for Airbus, I have the TCA Captain's Pack for stick and throttle, which covers the spoilers and the gear and the brakes and.
American 3082, contact Reagan Tower on 119.1.
Contact Reagan Tower, American 3082. Okay. Reagan Tower, American 32 is on the RNAV runway, RNAV Zulu. Twice I've done that. Reagan Tower, American 32, zone RNAV Zulu runway.
American 3082, Reagan Tower, winds 150 at 7, runway 19er, cleared to land.
Runway 19, clear to land, American 500. We are still in final lap. Once we get below 2,700, I'll switch that to the. All right, here we go. Let's get real for a second. Manage speed. Gear down. Autopilot's coming off. Flaps 3. Full 4-landing checklist. Altimeters 3015. Engine mode is normal. Landing gear is down 3 green. MMO, landing no blue. Floor landing checklist is complete. We are clear to land. $3,000 set for the best is dialed in the MTP. A little bit too far east. What I should do is wait for a little bit here. Just get the tip of the island. Start, put your right wing on that building to off to the right. Slowly come around to the back side of the island. Aim for the left-hand side of the bridge. A little bit of wind correction from right to left. I'm aiming for that trestle right in the middle of the 3rd bridge in front of me. I am 2 red, 2 white. Now in DCA there are 2 sets of pappies, one for the river and one for the actual bridge. Start a little bit of left turn, heading for that trestle. Once we get over to the 2nd bridge, we'll start a right-hand turn. Here comes right-hand turn. Try and mirror that road a little bit too much, a little bit too much. A little high.
Runway 19.
Brickyard 4439, contact ground on 121.7.
Ground Brickyard 4439.
20, retard. Drive.
Spoilers, 2 reverse. We're all on the ground. Water brakes are working. My goal is to be off on the after runway 480. Coming out.
American 3082, welcome to Reagan. Contact ground on 121.7.
I turn run to 1.7, American 3082. Water brakes are off.
Southwest 1548, hold short of runway 15.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Washington. Did you know that Washington, D.C. is home to the largest library in the world, the Library of Congress? Thank you for flying with American Airlines.
Yeah, I think 6.5 is probably about
Until we reach our final parking
pretty
position.
fair.
Brickyard 4439er, hold short of runway 22.
Brickyard 4439er.
Southwest 1548, cross runway 15.
To 1.7, we'll hold short of runway 4.
Southwest 1548.
DCA ground, American 3080.
American 3082, Reagan ground, taxi to Terminal 2 Gate D45 via Juliet, November. Good day.
Go November, American 3082. Robes coming off. I've never been to London City, but it's a very small airport. Very, very busy. Intertake temp. That's part of that nonsense going on out there. I'm gonna go ahead and clear it because there's nothing I can do about it, and it's not showing any faults on the aircraft. Nothing I can really do about it. The only thing I know about London City is British Airways operated 318s out of London for a while, and they would go from London City to Shannon, and then Shannon to JFK, and it was a full, what do you call it? Full first class. Full first class aircraft. I think Ryanair operate, not Ryanair. Who is it? The orange one. I can't think of the name. EasyJet operates out of London City, also, don't they? Make sure. Like, next one should be 1. Five. Two. I was early. I think I'm reading the chart, huh? We're going to the wrong one. Guessing that Southwest is going to cross Kilo holding area.
Brickyard 4686, runway 19er, taxi via Kilo 1, Juliet, hold short of runway 15, then Juliet.
Runway 19er, taxi via Kilo 1, Juliet, hold short of runway 15, then Juliet Brickyard 4686. Brickyard 4616, request push and start.
Brickyard 4616, push and start approved.
Roger, pushback approved. Brickyard 4616.
That's not going to work. Go ahead and set the brake right here for a second, see if I can get clear that. Clear me back. 4. There we go. All right, brakes are off. Yeah, probably gonna be it for today. Just a short one, trying to get one in. I appreciate you coming back, and good to see you again, or read you again. Free. Bar brake set. AP available. We'll go ahead and shut them down. There's left. There's right. APU bleed is on. Off. Deboarding.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now parked at the gate.
try and run that up again, probably without the stream, to see if I can get that fuel. I wonder what caused that. Shutdown checklist. Parking brake is set. Engine masters are off. Engine mode is normal. Speed brake is disarmed. Radar is off. Windshield PBOS is off. Fuel pumps are off. Slides are disarmed. APU is on. Shutdown checklist is complete. So that is Syracuse to DCA. Quick flight. Yeah, and that's actually intentional. So Airbus tried to have all of their aircraft work kind of under the same, from the 318 all the way up to the 330 was supposed to be on the same type rating, and it didn't really fall in exactly how they wanted it to. So the A318 through the A330, or A318 through the A321 is under one type rating, and then 330 is on a slightly separate type rating, but they can do it as a short course. So back in the day, US Airways had one where if you were operating on the A319 through the A321 and you were transitioning to the 330, it was only a 3-day course because they were so similar. They would just teach you the differences between the small bus and the big bus. That was Boeing's intention on the 777 to 78, but the 777 to 78 is quite kind of a difference in look. However, the actual systems themselves are very similar. I've been told if you know how to fly a 777, then flying a 78 will be very, very easy. American Airlines, I know, had a short course from the 777 to the 78, which I think was 4 days, but they've since gotten rid of that. I have friends that are there who went through it back when they did. I think United had it also for their 777 to 78 issues or courses. So, to you, are you going to get the Synaptic A220? You think about running that one? I haven't seen a whole lot about it. I guess there was a blurb that came out recently about the Synaptic A220. It'll probably be something I'll pick up just to try and see what it's like. But I don't know anything about flying it, how it operates, anything about it. So it'll be fun to try and learn it. There's one or two flights that I think are really interesting that would be fun to do. There's a carrier out in the United States called Breeze, and I've got young kids. And one of the things that took me away from doing the stream was the family obligations I have. I took my kids to Disneyland, and Breeze operates a flight that goes from John Wayne to Orlando, so Disney to Disney, which I think was kind of interesting. I'll probably do a stream of that or mess around with that just to do something different. Oh, there's an air collision. So the 220 has touchscreens. I did not know that. Well, the next one I'll do, I'll try and see another probably small airport. Maybe something like Daytona Beach or I've been to Key West in a while. Probably I might do Key West. Maybe Charlotte to Key West, get a little bit longer, or Houston to Key West. I don't know who Bravo Airspace is. I use FSSTL, SLTL, something like that, in conjunction with Say Intentions AI. They run the traffic on what I do, and for the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. Sometimes it gets kind of wonky. Beyond ATC, I think, has a better traffic injection program than. Oh, that's funny. I don't know if you're still watching that. CRJ slammed on the ground, raised into the ground, slammed into the ground again. That would be a very uncomfortable day at work. The reason why I have the traffic injection done by my AI my AI ATC, is it's supposed to control it. Now, what I just saw with one taking off of 19 and one taking off of 15, we really never took off on 15. That's not true. We rarely took off on 15 when departing at a DCA. But if anything, I mean, there should be separation between the two of them. All right, I'm gonna call it for today. It was good getting back into it. It was good seeing you. Hope you're doing well. You're probably getting ready to go to bed, or have dinner. I appreciate you stopping by, and I'll see you on the next stream. I gave you about an hour and a half. I was trying to give you more than that. Heads up for coming in. Anyway, I appreciate you. Have a good night, and thanks for joining me.